Hello guys, Tony here, Tone Body Fitness, and today I want to explain to you some ways to help with low back pain. So if you have any low back pain, a lot of times it stems from being in a seated position all day. So when we're in this thing called lumbar flexion, where your back is rounded, you're at a computer or whatever it is, sometimes there's that forward neck syndrome, our spine is looking rounded like this all day long. Maybe you're there for 8 hours, 10 hours, and you come home, sit to the couch, watch TV. Now the spine is like this for 14, 15 hours a day. So what happens when the spine is bent like that, so I'm here, my spine is like that, all those little discs start pushing out the back, hitting into those nerve endings, all right? And that's where some people can develop sciatic issues, other issues throughout the body. So what we want to do is work spinal extension, so try and get the spine to go the opposite direction. So kind of like this, I'll show you a few movements of it on the ground. What that allows the spine to do, hopefully this is a good visual for you guys, it allows those discs to slide back into the grooves versus when you're in spinal flexion, they kind of poke out to the nerve. So a couple movements you guys can do at home to alleviate some of the back pain from sitting all day. One, we got the Sphinx pose. You're gonna lie on your stomach. Once you're gonna go into that spinal extension to that opposite direction that we just used for that spine. So you have two options here. One, you can just stay like this. Make sure you're relaxing all the tension in your neck so you're not all the way up here. A little more progressed movement. Straighten your arms all the way up, just making sure your hips are staying engaged to the ground, so they're staying in contact. You want to lift your hips up here just to get a little tension or a little bit of spinal extension in there to help those discs kind of slide back. So that's number one. Another one that we can do is called like a cat-cow. Very simple movement here. Going all the way up, all the way back down. So now you're working a little spinal flexion. You don't have to really try too hard on this one. And then that spinal extension, trying to get as low as you can to really focus on, just that full spinal movement to really help that low spine health. Another one, if you have pain in this low area here, that's called your SI joint. And a lot of times from, sitting a lot, if you're a leg crosser, if you cross your leg up over the other one when you're sitting a lot, it can put some pressure into the SI joint. A really nice movement is a wide-legged windshield wiper. So keep your feet as wide as you can. The wider you go, the more SI joint stretch you'll feel. So when they're really close, this is more of like an ab exercise. When you go real wide, and you bring your knees down to the side, you'll actually feel a stretch to that right SI joint. Now as I switch it to this side, you'll feel it to that left SI joint. So you want to feel alternating sides, but the key is getting your feet as wide as you can. And then the last one, very common way to decompress the spine is called spinal decompression. All right, so what are you gonna do? You can hold on to anything. You can hold on to a sink in the house. If you have a TRX at home, most of you probably don't, but if you do or at the gym, I'm just gonna use a tonal machine that we have here. Now the key is not putting your low back into that spinal flexion again. So a lot of people, you grab onto something, push their back backwards, and they're still in that spinal flexion. So their tail's kind of tucking under. You want to take your hips, push them backwards so everything's staying aligned. So basically, you're putting a little bit of space between each vertebra of your back to alleviate that pressure that's on the nerve. So if you have something you can hold on to, you're just going to send your hips backwards here. Feel that stretch all the way through your low back. Instead of being tucked under like this, I come all the way back like this, pushing my hips back that way to feel that stretch all through that whole low back section. So, a couple ways to kind of alleviate some of that back pain you're having, depending upon where it's stemming from. But hopefully this helped. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you.